Bud Light has made Dylan Mulvaney a brand ambassador. Okay, so I don't think my opinion on this is going to be what people expect it to be, but Dylan Mulvaney, just so if you're not familiar, and we'll play Dylan's video that she put out in a minute. Dylan is an adult, so not a child, and is transgender, and has become this huge sort of trans activist, went to the White House to speak with Biden. But Dylan Mulvaney is known for these videos that she posts saying, day 1 as a woman, day 12 of womanhood. And I will just be honest, I found some of them offensive. I'm fine with Dylan, being transgender, wanting to identify as a woman, getting surgeries. They're an adult. I don't care what you do as an adult. Do you, Dylan. But what I do take issue with is some of the videos come across to me as just mocking being a woman. Like there was one video where Dylan Mulvaney was like talking about tampons. And it's like, come on. As someone who has suffered with many a period, yes, we're doing period talk on the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, we went there. But it's just like, really, we suffer, people who were born a woman suffer through many years of that. And you're just sort of mocking us by being like, what do I do with these? So I've found some of the videos to be incredibly just disrespectful to people who have actually gone through some of those things. But that aside, so Bud Light decides that it's going to have Dylan Mulvaney be a brand ambassador. And this is the video that Dylan Mulvaney put out.
Hi, impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So, I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money too. Love ya! Cheers! Go team! Whatever team you love, I love too. Okay. Love ya. Okay, break a leg. Woo!
Okay, so a few things. Bud Light put out a statement. Anheuser-Busch owns Bud Light and said, Anheuser-Busch works with hundreds of influencers across our brands as one of many ways to authentically connect with audiences across various demographics and passion points. Okay, Bud Light can do whatever it wants. Anheuser-Busch can do whatever it wants. I don't find that video to be particularly authentic. And that is also one of these types of videos that I find a little offensive because it plays into that stereotype that women are dumb and we don't know anything about sports and what is March Madness and, oh, here's a beer, sip, sip. It's just ridiculous. But again, I have no issue with Dylan Mulvaney. There were a lot of really passionate reactions to this. One of them was from Kid Rock. So there's a lot of videos put out, among influencers on the right saying, oh, I'm boycotting Bud Light. I'm not going to drink it anymore. People pulling out their cases of Bud Light, dumping it all down the drain. And before I play this Kid Rock video, I'll just note that on YouTube's really weird with gun-related stuff. So I've blurred out Kid Rock's use of the gun, but I'll show you the video that he posted.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
And you just see the destroyed Bud Light cans. All right, so this to me is how the system is supposed to work. If a company does something you don't like, you don't support them anymore. You can choose that. It's choosing, and people say, well, that's cancel culture. The right's all triggered and they want to cancel Bud Light. No, that's speaking with your pocketbook, which I think is a totally normal thing. I mean, cancel culture to me is like, I'm not gonna consume that product or support that company, and I don't want anyone else to even be able to make that choice for themselves because I'm gonna make that choice for them by trying to get the company canceled or the product canceled or whatever it is. That's cancel culture to me. If Kid Rock wants to be angry and shoot a gun into a bunch of Bud Lights and not drink it anymore and then flip the camera off, fine. Do you, Kid Rock. Here's what I think is unbelievable. it's unbelievable to me that people would get so mad over Bud Light. It's the worst of the beers, okay? Bud Light is hands down the worst of the beers. And if Dylan Mulvaney wants Bud Light, have at it. It's basically water, right? So I just don't understand getting so angry about such a bad beer. There are so much better beers. I also laugh at Anheuser-Busch just from a business perspective. Dylan Mulvaney is not drinking Bud Light. And people who follow Dylan Mulvaney, they're not drinking Bud Light. They're not going to go buy Bud Light. They're drinking fancy cocktails, wine.
Doesn't that make you think that it was purely political so that they
don't know.
kind of under the radar say this is where we stand politically? And I think that's where Kid Rock and some of those supporters are getting angry because they're saying, oh, Bud Light, you're going to really show your colors here because Dylan has been used by the White House, used by the left quite a bit. So showing your politics. And I think that's what it was meant to do.
That's possible, and that's fine. And then people can just decide, okay, I'm not going to use Anheuser-Busch products, or I'm not going to drink Bud Light.
I just love the Clydesdales.
Well, the Clydesdales are nice, but now we're past the Clydesdales.
I know they didn't even
apparently.
use them this year during the
I think
Super
it's a
Bowl.
bad business move for Bud Light. It doesn't make sense. I don't think people who like Dylan Mulvaney or consider her an influencer are going to just rush out and buy Bud Light because it tastes like swamp water. But, I just think it's a little unbelievable to get so mad over beer that tastes so, so bad.